Hello, everyone. It's Mike from Downtown Comics, and I'm here as always with James Rossman. James, how are we doing?
It's been a couple weeks, but good.
It has been a couple weeks, but we've heard the outcry. Where are those videos about new comics that we talk about I know. I hear it all the time. I really don't.
Yeah,
we need
I was
more,
going to say, that's a good sign.
We need more comments.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you're all waiting. So yeah, we're going to talk about some comics that came out this week of Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. So downtowncomics.com is the place to go to check out all the new releases as always. And, of course, liking, sharing, and subscribing these videos will get us more. We did make it past 400.
We did. I think we were like 409.
Yeah, something like that. So awesome. All of you
Yeah.
that have shared it, thank you very much. And keep on doing what you're doing. All right, so we'll start with you, James.
Yeah.
What do we got this week?
So something I've been excited for a while is Immortal Legend Batman #1.
Okay, and, the first thing I think I asked you, so you can tell me, this is an Elseworlds, is that correct?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a 5 or 6 issue miniseries, which is kind of sad because it's actually really cool. Like, I really dig the whole, like, it's very much like a sci-fi take on Batman, the Batman mythos.
Okay.
So, it also reminded me of Firefly in a way, where it's just like kind of futuristic, but they're still like in Western clothes and stuff like that. So,
all right.
But no, this takes place on a planet called Avoca. And there's references of Gotham, but I'm thinking Gotham is and this isn't answered in this book, but it feels like it's like maybe another planet itself, because the people that are referencing it say, on Gotham and not like in Gotham.
Gotcha.
So that was kind of interesting.
Okay.
But let's see. So in this issue, we do meet Mayor Harvey Dent and Sheriff Bruce Wayne. So that was interesting.
Okay.
And it's funny because, both of them are obviously dressed in like a very Western style. And I think it's the mayor, if I remember correctly. He looks super young. And I'm like, oh, he's the mayor? Okay. So,
okay.
But so this, but we meet them at the scene of this like grisly murder essentially. And this human's basically kind of like ripped in half essentially, and they're basically like, there's no human here that could possibly do that, so they think that it might be the work of it's called the Shadow essentially.
Okay.
So they're like these extra dimensional beings that entered their world on Avoca in the 22nd century after the barrier between the universe and the shadow universe was torn open because they were working on dark matter, essentially just being, trying to like travel the universe and stuff like that.
Okay.
So they opened that, and then this whole shadow thing started. And but during this investigation, the Immortal Batman and the mayor and the sheriff are essentially having like differences. So there's like altercation between them, the three of them, because he thinks it's one person and they're like, no, we don't really agree. So but I feel like that's like the first half of the book. I will say it was kind of interesting in the way they did it, because towards the end is when you kind of get like explanations of that kind of fill you in on like what this world is and who and what the immortal legends are. So I was like, I feel like that might be kind of like reversed, where it should have maybe done in the beginning. But either way, they still answered some questions about like who these people are. But yeah, it explains the shadow creatures, and but this is also, the Immortal Batman is also someone that they hadn't seen for years. So it's like, I guess the big question at the end is like, why all of a sudden did he come out, for this one murder? Like, who is this person that was murdered, or who murdered this person? Sure. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like the Mortal Legend Batman design. So it's really neat. So
it kind of, just looking at the cover, kind of has that Azrael armor Batman.
Yeah, it does.
look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of hope it kind of maybe, picks up for more than 5 or 6 issues just based off of the first issue. But, we'll see. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. Okay. Yeah. For my first one, we're going to do a new #1 from Marvel that shipped this week called The Mortal Thor. So those of you who have been following Marvel Comics know there was a Thor title called Immortal Thor, and at 25, it was basically stopped, and then this one started. So this one is the next. They could have said it's Immortal Thor 26, but obviously the whole story has changed such that restarting it and changing the title is much more appropriate. Do you have to have read the 25 issues of Immortal Thor? No, because in the back it tells you basically why we're where we are. And the bottom line is Thor's dead right now. He died.
Okay, gotcha.
He gave up his life so that he could save Asgard, but there's been some sort of the realm has been cut off. So Asgard and Midgard are not connected right now. Most of the gods are dead. Loki's still alive, but he's a kid again.
Interesting.
So basically we meet Sigurd Jorgensen, I think is his name, and he looks exactly like Thor, but he's just some dude who lives in an apartment in New York, and he's trying to get a job as a construction worker because he, as he says, he had a hammer with him because someone found him when he had amnesia, gave him a key and said, "Here's your apartment." And stuff, but he seems to have some sort of a life because, like he said, he's got bills and rent, and people know who he is, but he doesn't know who he is. So, is he the reincarnation of Thor, who's dead, or is it like the older Thors, where sometimes like Donald Blake would be put on Earth and he wouldn't remember that he's Thor? So we don't know that yet. That's story to come. But basically, yeah, he's just a normal guy looking for a job, basically, and he's got this little, I should say, because he doesn't have Mjolnir, but he's got a hammer. But it's kind of like this. I think it's kind of the hammer that they use to maybe drive in spikes on railroads.
Oh, sure.
So like a ball peen hammer, but bigger, a little bit bigger. But so it looks kind of weird in his hands, is what I'm saying, because it's smaller than so it looks kind of weird. So basically, yeah, we're just setting up the storyline, I guess. So he has no memory of even if he is this guy, he has no memory before he just kind of woke up as an apartment like a week ago, let's say. So we're going to follow him, and supposedly, according to the writer, that this is the second part of like a kind of a 3-part story he's telling.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you can definitely follow this story without having read the other stuff. So
did you read the other stuff? The other series?
Some on and off, not the whole thing. So I read 25, the last issue, and I read like the first 8 or 9, and then maybe I jumped in and out of an issue here or there, but yeah, not the whole thing.
So that'll probably become its own omnibus, I'm sure, eventually.
Yeah, there's already trades. You can pretty much. I don't know if the final one that gets up to 25 is out, but it'll be out in a month or so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then you could read the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do a compendium yet. It's still pretty new.
Right.
So
yeah.
Pretty decent art. It's got Pasquale Ferry is his name. He's been around forever. He does more of a cartoony style, I guess. So not I don't know. It's less structured, I guess, than some other artists like it's a little more stylistic.
Okay.
Yeah. But still good stuff. It seems already we had in this issue the villains seem to be kind of, if you were going to reincarnate the Wrecking Crew, but make them kind of normal gang thug types, I guess.
Okay,
that was my take on it, because there's 3 of them, and one's got a chain, and one's got a knife, and I think one's got another weapon. So it's like, oh, okay, they're kind of like the Wrecking Crew, even though they're not called that or anything. So we'll see. But yeah, Loki's around as a kid, and so it was fun.
Nice. I might have to pick that up because I haven't read a lot of Thor in the past, so I'm like, well, maybe this.
Yeah, I mean, it's Al Ewing. He does. Yeah. He does kind of out there stuff, so he definitely, when he has to tell a story. So yeah, but I enjoyed it.
All right, sounds good.
Yep.
All right, so up next for me is Absolute Wonder Woman number 11. Honestly, so I I always say I'm like Absolute Batman's my favorite, but I feel like I don't know, I really like the OG the ones that started Absolute Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman. Batman is just because of Bane, like it's insane right now, but. If you've been following Absolute Wonder Woman, she's still like in the middle of this maze essentially, and the crazy thing is, so she went in because she heard that there's like possible people from Themyscira and other Amazons essentially, and So she's going through this, in hopes to find out more about her people. So
right, because as far as she knows, she's the only one.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but she's in this maze, and the crazy thing is, she can get out anytime she wants, but obviously she went in there for a purpose.
Right.
And so she ends up finding these other people that are also in there that have been in there for a long time, and they've tried to escape, but they are. And so when she meets them, she like really respects them because I don't remember how many there are of them in there, but essentially like they've tried to when they tried to escape, like they met like steel walls, and then another time they like met like at what they said in there, like the ocean, so they had to like hurry up and plug up things and whatnot. But
so they've tried to escape,
Yeah.
but they haven't been able to.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they're trying to do it all together. Everybody's in agreement, but like it's it's either all of us or none of us.
Okay.
So which is something that Diana comes to really respect from them. But yeah, it's like this room with a bunch of branches that basically go off in like different directions that when she meets them. But so yeah, they're attempting to get out of there, and then she respects them for that. And but Wonder Woman informs them that she has a way to get out, but if her and all these people in there that she's met try to go out at the same time, it will put a spotlight on them for the big enemy that's in this maze. So so she's she's doing this with them, and there's another part of the story where Wonder Woman encounters something that can essentially speak but doesn't have a form to it.
Okay.
So I won't say exactly what that is because that does spoil some things.
Okay.
But towards the end of the book, there's like references of possibly like a new absolute character. So that was kind of cool.
Okay. An absolute version of a character we've never seen before. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's no telling whether that's actually going to come to pass or not, but
sure, tease.
The idea of it's really, really cool. So, but yeah, in this, there's lots of character building, which I thought was like really, really, really cool. So between her and then these other people, this group of people, and then once they find each other, and she finds out more about them, but it's a lot of like classic Wonder Woman, a lot of her like thinking of the people and like wanting to save them and stuff like that. Okay. So yeah, I don't think there's been an absolute Wonder Woman issue that I really haven't liked. But then I say that about all the other ones too. So there you go.
Okay. That's fair. All right. Let's see. For my second one, okay, we're going to do another Marvel book. You're doing all DC. Yeah. I'm doing all Marvel today. Not that I read a bunch of DC too. Avengers, the new issue of Avengers 29 came out this week, and it is a one-shot. So it's kind of an interlude before the next probably big arc. And weirdly enough, it's kind of bringing threads that they've sprinkled into the first 24 issues or so revolved around Kang and this new time-traveling villain who kind of has a cross between Doctor Doom and Cobra Commander, I guess, or some, I don't know. I can't say Cobra. Well, he's got the face mask, right? So I'm assuming that who's under there is going to be some sort of reveal kind of thing, but for now he's called Meridian, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But anyway, he's a time traveler, and in the early issues of Avengers, he attacked Kang, specifically because of something he's chasing called what they're calling the Grail. Okay, and so this is kind of bringing together the threads of the attack on Kang. Meridian also created a team of what he called Knights of the Grail, because he's calling it a Grail quest. He's giving a whole Arthurian theme. So he created these heroes, or plucked them from other time streams or whatever, that he called the Knights, and they attacked the Avengers at one point in another issue. And what it is the Grail is, I mean, it's comic books, so right. It's something that is beyond time or you can't get to it through time travel.
Okay.
So it's impossible to get through time travel. It's like, I don't know. It's like a hole in time, right? It's what they call a missing moment. Okay. And the Avengers have finally decoded some stuff that Kang had given them before he either disappeared or died. I forget whether he's dead. I mean, he's a time traveler. So, but anyway, and they figure out that basically this all traces back to Reed Richards. Okay. And it also traced back all the way to the Secret Wars, the 2015 Secret Wars.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, the bottom line is, I won't get too deep into it, but if you recall, the Secret Wars was the death of, technically it was the death of the Marvel Universe. But then it came back. So it gets into that.
That's interesting.
So if you're a fan of the Secret Wars, this is kind of a nod to the aftermath of that. So it references that. They're going to get back to this, but I think, again, this is just a one-shot, and then they're going to do another story and maybe come back later and get to it. So I don't know if there's going to be a continuation. So you can kind of read this as a one-off. If you haven't read all the Avengers, it does give you, this happened in Avengers 2, and this happened in Avengers 13. So, I mean, I guess you could go back and find all those little pieces. But a lot of the stuff that's happened in the first 2 years of the book has been tangentially related to this, and so we'll see this Meridian character again. But yeah.
I was gonna say, it's a big storyline to just be.
It is and it isn't. Like, there's a lot of big things, and obviously it's a culmination. But again, it's just a story that's kind of bringing together a lot of like individual things that have happened. So,
okay.
So
gotcha.
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So it was interesting. So if you're a fan of like the Marvel history and stuff, that'll be something fun to read.
Sweet.
All right.
So last up for me is Imperial War Planet She-Hulk #1.
Okay, so this is one of those one-shots that are tied into the Imperial storyline, right?
Yeah, and from my understanding, this might be an let's see. This might be an ongoing, I think.
Really?
I thought they.
Okay.
Yeah, there was. I could be wrong about that.
Well, I'm not.
But...
Yeah, I don't know if obviously when this event is over, there'll be some stuff launched from that, obviously. Because
I think that's my
She-Hulk being on the basically Planet Hulk and doing her thing could be a series, obviously, if it's well received. But I think for the purpose of this crossover, I think these are all one-shots.
Is it? Okay,
because I don't remember ordering an Imperial She-Hulk #2.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I guess, so
I think you might be right where it's just like it'll branch off from there,
Right.
Because there's only one issue of Imperial.
No, there's 3.
Oh, there's 3 more.
Yeah. No. There's 3 so far.
3 so far, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's 5.
Is it 5? Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
I think it's 5, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, some of these tie-ins like came kind of late, I think, kind of.
Well, obviously the She-Hulk one, after issue 1, she's assigned to go to the planet and make sure everything stays okay. So I guess you don't have to tell the story.
That's true.
In any real order. I don't know about the Black Panther yet because I haven't read it, but I would assume that because of the stuff that's happening in 2 and 3, that's probably when that one's taking place. But maybe it's set before it all takes place.
Right.
So I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, this one, I think this issue, if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend because it's hilarious. She-Hulk is just hilarious and like so sarcastic, I guess.
Okay.
And I think that has a lot to do. So this is written by Stephanie Phillips and Jonathan Hickman. Okay. So I think I could definitely see the writings of Stephanie Phillips in this for sure.
Gotcha.
And it's not, when I say Jonathan Hickman, it's not very like, oh, I really got to think about this. Like,
right.
So, which was really nice.
He probably just plotted it. He's like,
I think so.
Have her do, you go to town and you just have her on this planet and you do you.
Exactly. Because, so, in this, She-Hulk is very different from Bruce Banner Hulk because in this, he's really leaned into like the gladiator style and she's obviously still just an attorney, right? So, but yeah, this follows up with what happened in Imperial #1, where Bruce Banner, Cho, and Jin wind up on Sakaar to figure out, all these mysterious murders and stuff like that. And obviously, Sakaar is a very dangerous place. So, Hulk basically, leaves her there for 5 days. He said he'll be back in 5 days, and she's there to like keep the peace. But there's a couple pages where you're like, so she has essentially like this assistant named I think Candor is his name, and he's essentially kind of like this C-3PO kind of character, and there's some instances where he's like, okay, you were put here, or you were left here to keep the peace, but what you're doing is the exact opposite of that, talking about beheading and all this kinds of stuff, and,
right?
So, but yeah, that's essentially kind of like, the whole issue, her having a difficult time like navigating like with her law background from Earth,
right,
and with all these outlaws, obviously, because it's like, essentially it's normal for these people to like essentially be killing each other and like
right.
all these big battles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm trying to remember if I even wrote it down. But the Candor guy, he was basically telling her, he's like, well, you came with all these things from Earth, and you're coming to a completely different planet where you're like, that stuff does not. And she's like, yeah, I will never, like, once Hulk gets back, she's like, I'm gone.
Right.
But towards the end of the issue,
maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. So,
okay.
But yeah, it's hilarious. It's probably one of the funniest comic issues I think I've read in a hot minute.
All right.
So
okay, yeah. I didn't know it was all right. Time for humor, but
yeah,
all right.
Right, exactly.
Okay, well that's fun, and you could pretty much read that on its own, right?
Yeah, you really can. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it explains
story.
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I hope if this branches off, I hope Stephanie Phillips continues writing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of one shots that tie into stuff, my last one is the last, another Marvel one, and it's called Doomed 2099. So if you're a fan of the 2099 universe, there's two characters worth talking about: Spider-Man 2099 and Doom 2099. So Doom 2099 was a fantastic book, and so we get a one shot that ties into the One World Under Doom. So this is technically a tie-in. Do you have to have read that? No. I mean, it's basically future Doom versus current Doom.
Okay.
So future Doom 2099. He comes back into time to tell current Doom, Sorcerer Supreme, that he has to give up being Sorcerer Supreme.
Ooh, fun.
He's like, you got to give this up. If you don't, it's gonna F everything up. And Doom's like, well, why? And the current Doom's like, why would I believe you? Like, why would I believe your hologram, future message BS, right? and future Doom's like, yeah, I know, you say that every time, because he's done this more than once, and every time, I guess, current Doom kicks the snot out at future Doom. Yeah, so basically, future Doom is running out of time portal chances to go back and do this thing. He has to convince his past self to stop doing what he's doing.
Oh my goodness.
And so so actually the fun of this is just a giant fight between future Doom and past Doom, but you get fan favorite characters back. So if you're a fan of the Maestro, if you're a fan of Old Man Logan, if you're a fan of Cosmic Ghost Rider, if you're a fan of, who else makes a cameo? There's a Phoenix. Let's see, Old Man Logan, and then Cosmic Ghost Rider. Oh, who's the other one? Maestro, and wait, hold on, let me look. Sorry. Deathlock. Yeah, Deathlock and Bishop.
Gotcha.
Deathlock and Bishop. So yeah. So he gathers. This is his final chance. So even though it says Doom 2099 on it, you don't actually see the year. You don't get any 2099 characters.
Okay,
it's basically Doom 29 picking what he considers the most badass, guys from these various timelines to go kick, current Doom's butt. So we'll see how that works out for him. It does end on I guess a cliffhanger of sorts, but again, this is a one and done.
That's okay,
We'll see if it gets back, but it's just a fun. It's really just a
It
fun.
sounds like
it's just
it.
a
I like
fun tie-in if you like Doom 2099 character. If you just want to see a big fight with Mystic current Doom and scientific future Doom fighting it out, and then all these other characters in the mix. Yeah, it's just a good time. I mean, there's no deep no deep reasoning for it. It's just fun.
That makes me wonder. So, like Doom 2099, the Planet She-Hulk one, like there are these tie-ins that are kind of like break up the, kind of humorous. I don't know about the.
No, this one is played pretty serious.
Oh,
I should say,
oh,
but
okay,
it's
gotcha.
like I said, it's kind of like, hey, let's get an excuse to get all these kind of fan favorite type characters
That's
we haven't
fair.
seen. It's been a while since we've seen all these guys. Old Man Logan, haven't seen him in forever. Maestro, haven't seen him in forever.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmic Ghost Rider, obviously Bishop's been around. Deathlock has kind of been around, but not as a character, more as like they're like this future Terminators or whatever. And then obviously there's always a Phoenix. It's just a different one, but yeah. So it's just, I think it's just an excuse to get these characters together.
Well, hey,
but it is a serious thing.
It is.
So
okay.
it's yeah, because it does have, I guess, technically giant implications in the future of the Marvel Universe if it goes one way or another.
Okay.
I mean, Doom 2099 is not lying about what he's saying. It's not some sort of trick. He actually is. I kind of reference South Park. You don't watch South Park, do you?
I've seen it before. But
okay, well there was I don't know, for no reason, there was an episode of South Park where Cartman can't handle waiting for the new Nintendo Wii, I think it was at the time, right?
Oh, okay.
And because it comes out in a month and he can't wait, so he tries to freeze himself, thinking if he goes into suspended animation, the month will go faster. But it ends up being like this Buck Rogers thing where he gets suspended in animation for 500 years, and then of course stuff he's doing changes the timeline, and so at some point he has to call to his past self and tell him not to freeze himself. And then Cartman's like, well, shut up. Why would I believe you? So that's what it made me, even though that was done humorous, that's what it made me think of. And the future one was absolutely right. So in this case, it's the same thing. Like the future one is right. It's just the present one is not the person is going to listen to any of that. So,
that'd be hilarious if the reason this was made was because it's the writer was like,
maybe,
I remember.
yeah. So all right,
great.
so fun issue. So all right,
Cool.
cool.
Yeah,
that it for today. All right.
Yeah.
Are we next week?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, okay.
So far, so
wow,
good.
2 weeks in a row. Okay. Well, I hope you guys like this video. We just love making them, and we will be back hopefully next week for another one. So thanks for watching. You guys have a great day. Thanks, James.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
All right. See ya. Bye-bye.